Your Deputy Premier up there, Stephen Miles, he's reportedly unhappy with his role as Annastacia Palaszczuk's attack dog. I don't think he's much of one, but anyway, he's the bloke that's labelled the Federal Treasurer Josh Frydenberg a liar. He's mocked Donald Trump. He's told colleagues, though, the aggressive attacks are hurting his reputation. I reckon he'd be right there, Gleeson.
Well, his next trick, Peter and Chris, is that he'll head up the Melbourne Comedy Festival. I mean, this bloke, he has been given the job as the head of the left faction of the Queensland Labor Party. They are all-encompassing, they are powerful, they have the unions on side, they run the state, they got their abortion law through, they're about to get their euthanasia law through. And for Stephen Miles to come out and say that, clearly this is a government that is run by polls. They do focus groups every week. Clearly, the voters of Queensland have said this bloke might not be the man to be the heir apparent to Annastacia Palaszczuk because he is the attack dog that he is. Cameron Dick's sitting over there, the Treasurer. He doesn't say much. He doesn't do much. He's running a $100 billion debt, so he's not exactly a good alternative either. The only thing the Queensland Labor Party have got going for them is Annastacia Palaszczuk. She might be there till 2040.
Well, it's always interesting, though, when they want to clean up their reputation like that. That tells me that he is backing himself to be leader and he wants to knock off some of the rough edges in case Palaszczuk decides to walk and he wants to be there and grab the job. Well, God help us if that's the case, poor old Queensland. I went through this in my editorial tonight. You know, it was the UN not so long ago. It was researchers at University College in London a couple of weeks ago. Now, today, it's the OECD. They're the third of these big international bodies giving Australia a lecture about climate change. The report out bemoans the fact that Australia no longer has a carbon tax, as suggests we're not on track to meet net zero emissions by 2050. I went through all the detail, but we are a world leader in terms of meeting existing commitments. We know that China's in trouble. We know the United States is a long way from where Australia is. But in any measure, anyway, Chris, we're 1.5% or less of global emissions, but we're basically the one they're after in any report that's released internationally. It's not on.
It's quite amazing why they want to keep on picking on Australia. And just as an aside, hasn't Matthias Cormann become rather adaptive on the issue? But anyway, that's only an aside. Look, if we stop producing and sending our coal to other parts of the world, there would be more CO2 emitted because we have the best coal in the world. That's the fact. If they want us to do that, that's fine, but it will be counterproductive. The other thing we should do is just remind them and send them a list of the top 10 emitters in the world, which you have pointed out we are not in that list, and maybe that will remind them who they should be hassling, like China, like India, like Russia, etc., etc. And can I also say, here they are, the OECD, dismissing the idea that technology, by the time we get to 2050, can solve our problems in terms of energy solutions and energy sources. They think that's not... Have they not looked at the history books for the past 100 years? In just about every sector, it's technology that's come to the fore and has found the answer to our problems. It will happen again in energy.